No, people who call you a witch, you know that person is very immunocompromised. You think I'm vulnerable,
Yes.
or you think you're making me feel bad, but I feel bad for you.
You don't know anything.
Because you don't know what witchcraft is. I wish you knew. And people who call themselves witches, now those are the ones I respect.
Yeah.
Because they know energy. Witchcraft is energy. The Bible that we have today is called the Slave Bible. It has been translated throughout history to the point it has reached a point where it has no meaning. Its original meaning has been tainted. Today, I want you to look at the Bible as a book that was authentic in the beginning, but its pages has been scrapped off according to the leadership that we've had over time and the narratives that those leaders wanted to push through. Leaders who wanted to push through the narrative of slavery, put in slavery in the Bible because they know people trust this thing, and if it is in the Bible, case done. You understand? You know, if you have ever lived with Mama Wakambo, you know what culminates, like just not eating enough, not being given your clothes to wear. Sometimes hadi kwenda choo nilikuwa naaibika because huyo mama alikuwa ananipatia nguo. Unaona hizi shati za promo, I was a very little girl. So shati ya promo ingenifika hadi huku chini, ingenitosha kama dress. So I had clothes, but shati za babangu za promo ndiye alikuwa ananipatia nivae ati nisichafue manguo because sijui kufua.
Hello and a warm welcome to LNS. My name is Lynn Ngugi. Now, dear African child, the time has come. The time is here, man. My guest today says it's time for you to rebuild yourself, demystify all the things that you've been taught, and start appreciating yourself as the daughter or son of the soil. Her style is beautiful. Her words are authentic. Her spirit, I can tell you for sure, we were aligned from the word go. When I gave her a call, you would think we've known each other for a long time. And I won't lie for you guys, I've waited to have her on this set forever. So without further ado, no, I'm gonna let her introduce herself, but before that, wacheni nilipe bills, my people. Please, I want to say thank you to my people at Elegance for coming through with this white outfit that I love. Today I tried matching it with the boots. I don't know what you guys think, but if you love it, their contact details are right here on the screen. Make an order if you can. And now, without further ado, please allow me to let my incredible guest today introduce herself. Good. I feel like I should have come with grumbles. Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Oh, that's a lot of introduction.
I know it's about
oh, I'm really humbled.
Yes.
For that, I'm really humbled. Thank you so much for that. You know, it takes a queen to recognize a queen, and I'll always believe that. Anybody that recognizes me that much is just because I recognize you that much as well. Because trust me, I love the work that you do, and being on this show has always been my dream. I've watched you and I've always said, that's such an amazing show. It's like the Oprah Winfrey of Africa for me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it takes a queen to recognize a queen, and yes. I'm really, really humbled.
Thank you.
Other than that, my name is Vivian Tabu Okumu.
Yeah.
AKA Swiry Nyar Kano. Yeah. Swiry Nyar Kano is my alias. I was given that name by my people back in Kano. And I love it so much because it was a name that was given to me out of the spirits of my village people. It was a name that came authentically to me, and that's why I use it that much. But my baptismal name is Vivian Tabu Okumu.
Yes.
And I'm so glad to be here. I'm a history enthusiast. And I love to be here to talk to Africans about who they are, because it's time. It's time.
It's time.
Yeah, it's time.
Oh, can I just start with your style? Because I have I'm burning with so many questions right now. So can I go? Look, I love your outfit. This is you. You made this.
This is me. I made this. I always make my outfits ever since I was a child. I was born of a mother who is a tailor. Yeah. My mom is a tailor. When my mom gave birth to me at 1 a.m. in the morning, and then by 6 she was on a sewing machine sewing. So sewing machine was the first voices that I really was familiar with as a child. I love that voice because my mom sewed on that manual sewing machine.
Yes. Yeah.
So when I was a child, I used to take her pieces, the pieces that she would leave aside, and I used to take them to make outfits for myself.
Okay.
Ever since I was a child, I've always just been close to my mom.
Yes.
And I love her so much because she was a tailor.
Yeah.
And I knew it was something that I wanted to do. Even though I was performing so well in high school and also in primary school, and I went to do a totally different course, microbiology and biotechnology in university, I always knew I wanted to sew. So when I cleared campus, I said, you know what? I'm not going to practice microbiology. I'll use the information that I gathered there to maybe understand life in general. It wasn't a bad thing, me studying microbiology.
Yeah.
But then I've always wanted to sew. So sewing comes to me naturally. I studied microbiology, but sewing is something that comes to me naturally. And it's what I love. And it's what I would do if there was no payment in life. If people were just living without being paid, I would still be a fashion designer.
Yeah, I'm gonna come to that because again, dear African child, we've been taught there are courses that matter. You want to be known. You come from a family of doctors, lawyers, surgeons, and there's nothing bad with that. But we don't get time to become who we are. But before we even get deeper, because I know we'll get deeper, everything you're wearing has meaning right now.
Yes.
Where do we start with? Your eyes.
Okay, so my eyes, I've always gravitated towards drawing my eyes using the eyeliner. Okay, it's something that I just loved. Ever since I saw the trend, I just gravitated towards it, and I was so excited about it. And I was in campus, but then I did not know what it meant. I did not know the origin of it. I did not know. So I just started applying it. But with time, there's a book I bought, okay? There's a book I bought that was talking about ancient Egypt and ancient Kemet and talking about ancient civilizations and ancient cultures. And that was where I realized that actually our ancestors, the people like King Tutankhamun of ancient Kemet, these people loved the eyeliners. These people used to draw look at ancient Egypt.
Yes.
The makeup was eyeliners. Look at Ethiopia, the Surma tribe. Their makeup, ancient Africans used to apply makeup to express themselves. Makeup was used as art. You know, when you look at me, you can tell my identity by the way I draw my eyes.
Yes.
You know, you can almost tell something about me, but just by looking at me.
Yeah.
And so when I look at these, makeup, I don't do makeup to conceal anything. I do makeup to project my inner identity.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that is where my eyes come from. I know there's a connection between eyeliner and the ancient Kemet. And they used to do this to protect, you know, the evil eye. Drawing your eye in a certain way, it makes you protect yourself from the evil eye.
Really?
Yeah. And also wearing contact or you know, there are some herbs that used to be used in ancient Africa to conceal, you know, the eyeball. Because when the eye is the window to the soul. When somebody looks into your eyes, they can tell what is going on inside, because the eye is a projection of what?
Is that not just a saying?
Inside.
Is it not?
No,
it's a real
not.
thing.
It's a real thing. These sayings, hizi wahenga na wahenguzi hawaku tuchezea kayaya za chini kwa chini. They did not lie.
Yes.
When they were talking about these things. All these sayings, the wahenga wetu, especially ours, leave the European ancestors alone.
Yes.
Our ancestors, everything they said have meaning to them. Everything they said have meaning to them. And so, yeah, that is what I usually follow. I try to live with the tradition of my ancestors because it is in my DNA.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you look at my eyes, that is what it means. You know, these are expressions, you know, of me. It is so personal to me. Everyone can express themselves the way they also want.
Yeah.
When you look at my necklace and my earring on this side, this is the cowrie shells from the lake. So we know African tradition and cowrie shells. It's a symbol of, you know, abundance and everything. This is nature. This is natural. It was made natural. And then when you look at my feathers and my earring, it has the evil eye in it.
Yes.
Evil eye, the combination of these colors, the combination of the colors of the evil eye have the ability to protect. Color has frequency. Even this color, yellow, red, white, each and every color has its own vibration. And when you study color, when you study like yellow has its own vibration. Yeah. It vibrates in its own level. The same way water has its own vibration.
Yes.
The same way we human beings have our own vibration. You vibrate at your own level. I vibrate at my own level. You understand?
Yeah.
So everything has its own vibration. And some vibrations are protective. you know, some vibrations are attracting the same way white attracts, and then some vibrations block. What is the evil eye? In Luo tradition, when you're born, when you're a child, all Luos that I know, the ones who grew up with our tradition, there's something called saro, or saro. You get cut on your stomach.
Yes.
To keep the evil eye away. So there are herbs in Africa that you can use to keep the evil eye away. There are colors in Africa that you can use to keep the evil eye away. And evil eye is basically envy. Envy can affect anyone. We are all energy. When somebody is looking at you in an envious way, if there's somebody who is vibrating higher than you, they look at you in an envious way, it can affect you. It can throw your own energies off balance. When they, you know, words and intention. Intention is what births when you have an intention, okay? I intend to be successful. I intend to have a child. I intend to have a car. I intend to build a house. Intention is what get things from the spiritual realm into this physical realm. So when somebody intends, they look at you, Lynn Ngugi, you have such a beautiful show. I want to have such a show. Somebody can, when they're coming from a point of evil eye, you know, then it can affect you. It can throw you off balance. It has the ability to throw you off balance.
Depends on earrings.
You understand?
Yeah.
So when you do these things, and it's not just earrings peke yake, you can even use words to declare, no weapon fashioned against me shall prosper.
Yeah.
That is something you can also use to bounce back the evil eye. But evil eye is something that everyone has. It's something like, you know, being a kleptomaniac. Kleptomaniac ni mtu mwenye ataiba hata kama hahitaji. Evil eye is something, people who have evil eye, they come from a heart of envy, and they will be envious of you. And when they are strong in that envy, then they can throw and you've not protected yourself, then they can throw you off balance. It's like a pathogen invading. Pathogens invade bodies that are immunocompromised. Pathogens invade bodies whose gates are closed. Thieves enter the gates that are open. And, you understand? Thieves enter the gates that are open. Even in the spirit realm, envy, if you don't protect yourself, they will enter.
Yes.
You understand? So it's always good to know, to be in awareness that this is how we live. There are thieves, there's a possibility of thieves, because ukiacha simu yako, hivyo, itachukuliwa. Exactly, in the spirit realm, it's the same. If you just live your life like that carelessly, without really protecting yourself and being intentional with your energies, then you're opening your windows and your doors for any spirit to come in and jeopardize you.
And jeopardize.
Yeah.
Okay. Earrings.
Done. The evil eye.
Yes.
Now we move to my outfit. This outfit is, I love the African sleeves. And when you look at my fashion, one thing that you will notice throughout the years as I continue to practice fashion, you will notice sleeves. Because personally, when I was young, even everybody else, when you look at Africans, there are some funny sleeves that people did not like, that our tailors used to make. You understand? People have never liked, you know, the African sleeves, and it's because the representation has not been indigenous. Like aija representiwa vizuri, but now mimi nimekuja sasa ku represent now the African sleeves and what they mean and where they come from, and how we can use like the African shapes, the shapes of the pumpkins, the shapes of you know, agwata, agulu, to create actually the outfits that we wear.
Yes.
And so personally, when I seek inspiration for my outfits or my fashion, I seek it from nature.
Yeah.
I learn from nature.
Yeah.
The shapes that are available in nature are the ones that I love to use to also create my outfits.
Yeah.
And especially the ones that are for, you know, haute couture.
Yes.
Because to me, nature is the biggest inspiration that we have. And so the sleeves, this is the signature.
What does this mean now?
This sleeve,
now interpret this
comes from like the shape of the pumpkin.
Yes.
You see how it is?
Yeah.
It comes from the shape of the pumpkin.
Yes.
And personally, me, I love like African shapes. I love shapes in nature.
Yeah.
You understand? I love the shapes in nature.
Yes.
And so when I create sleeves personally, I love to use the shapes in nature to create sleeves.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I love pumpkins ni malenge. You understand? So when I was creating this particular outfit, the sleeves, I just wanted it to be so puffed as the pumpkin itself.
Yeah. Does pumpkin has a meaning in the African context?
Yeah.
You know, for me, for you, it's like everything. I gotta ask because I am trying to put one plus.
Everything has a meaning. Everything, you see, when we talk about as above, so below, as within, so without, it means nothing exists in your outside environment that does not already exist within you. Nothing, literally, nothing exists outside your environment that is not already inside your environment. Yeah. So even when you look at the cats, the flies, the trees, the pumpkins, the whatever, everything that exists that we see outside here, it already has a representation inside, within us.
Do I have cats inside?
No, it's not a cat.
Yes.
A cat represents...
Forgive me.
Yeah, I understand.
I gotta ask the
questions.
I
love the questions that you're asking.
Yeah.
A cat doesn't represent that you have a cat inside. What does a cat represent in nature? What does the cat family represent? When you look at cats, you look at lions. What do they represent? Confidence. You look at dogs. What do they represent? Loyalty. You understand? Confidence exists inside of you. Yes. When you fear cats, that's a direct reflection that you have a problem with confidence.
Oh man.
When you fear dogs, that's a direct reflection that you have a problem with loyalty.
Edwin.
When you fear snakes,
yes,
that's a direct reflection that your kundalini is not aligned. You don't believe your kundalini, the spinal cord.
Wait, now can I tell you something? Jokes aside, I fear snakes. I use in my spinal cord. No, I cannot. I fear snakes so much. You cannot make me look at a snake.
And a lot of collectives fear snakes, and it's because of our collective brain. Our collective brains believe that when we are sick, we need to go to the hospital to get cured, right? Our collective brain doesn't believe that you can heal yourself, right? So you have to fear snake if you don't believe you can heal yourself. Because the snake is a representation of the spiral, the golden ratio. The way the snake rolls is the golden ratio, meaning life in itself is in a form of golden ratio, meaning you are the one who is constantly expanding. Unaona venye snake ina roll?
Yes.
Iki-expand, inaanza ndogo, ina-expand, then ina-expand, then ina-expand. Inamaanisha ati hata wewe maisha yako inaanza hivyo ndogo, you are constantly dealing with the same things, but ziki-expand.
Wow.
Ina-expand. So when you understand that, then you look at the snake and you understand that, okay, so it's a representation of the Kundalini awakening, the self-healing, the creation of your own reality.
Yeah.
And the more, when you want to heal yourself, there's a reason why in ancient Africa, they used to use snakes in therapy. Animals, actually, generally. Animals used to be used in therapy. You understand? When you look at the Bible, people like Akina Joseph were thrown into the den of lions. Being thrown into the den of lions, you're thrown into confidence. So that you did not have confidence, now you have to establish it from within yourself and come out and lead people. Now, will your confidence eat you up? If the lions attack you, will your confidence attack you? Because your confidence can attack you.
What?
Or will that confidence attack you? Or will you learn to reach a point of balance with it so that you come out and you are able to lead in confidence?
There we go.
Yeah. So when you look at everything that exists outside,
it's already
inside. And every time you see it in your physical environment, it is there to remind you of something within.
I love that.
You will, when you see a snail, it's not a coincidence. When you see flies all over, it's not a coincidence. Seeing bees, birds, it's not a coincidence. These things don't just appear in your reality because, tulikuwa tunaenda kwa soko, acha tupitie kwa Ngugi. No. They will come there when you need it. When you need an interpretation.
Yeah.
So when you start looking at life intentionally and being aware that, so everything I interact with, including human beings, is a reflection of what is within.
What is within. Thanks for breaking that down, because now your hand.
My hand has the ankh. This is the symbol of life, the hieroglyphic symbol of life by the Nilo-Saharans. Mimi ukiniangalia, like I'm a River Lake Niloite, okay? I'm Luo, River Lake Niloite. We descended from Sudan, the people who invented hieroglyphic writing. The first people to invent writing in the world were Africans, okay? So this was the hieroglyphic symbol of life.
Yes.
And when I mean hieroglyphic, I mean emoji. This is emoji symbol of life. Yeah. Nowadays we call them emojis. You know,
Yes.
you text your people with a smiley face, whatever.
Yeah.
Those were used, that was hieroglyphic in ancient Africa.
Yes.
You understand? And it was neuroscience that invented it, and this was a symbol of life.
Yes.
It is a symbol of the conjunct union between the divine feminine and the divine masculine below. You understand? Divine feminine is represented by a circle because women have the capability of creating.
Okay.
Circle means life, and that's why tumbo huwa zinafura. Anything that swells, it means it is life.
Life.
Where energy goes, grows.
Yes.
What you dwell on swells on. Everything that swells means life. So this swelling is a representation of life, and life, bringing life, creation of life is feminine. It's only feminine stuff that bring forth life. They are the portals. So when you look at this, this is the moon.
Yes.
I'm a feminine person. I love the moon because, you know, our men run with the cycle of the sun.
Our men.
Men, yeah. That's why they have wet dreams every day in the morning. Okay?
Break that down for us.
On a daily.
What?
Men have wet dreams on a daily. Wet dreams is a symbol of re-energizing. They get re-energized every day. Okay? Women menstruate once a month. They don't get re-energized every day. Women get re-energized every month. You understand? Men get re-energized every day. Women get re-energized every month. This is the reason why men are very strong in the physical dimension. You understand?
Now, hold on. Pole. That's very important.
Yes.
Because it's the truth. Where does the moon come in?
So the moon and the sun, when you see our galaxy as above, so below again.
Let's go. We will go as above.
Yes, as above, so below. We had ancestries in Africa, in ancient Africa. We had the people who were called the Niloites, and then we had the Bantus. This is no coincidence. The original people of Africa were the Niloites and the Bantus. You understand? The Niloites were people who walked looking above. The Bantus were people who walked looking below. In history, they will teach you that the Bantus were cultivators,
farmers,
and the Niloites were pastoralists, travelers. You understand? They were travelers who used to travel looking above.
At the moon.
At the moon and the sun and the stars.
Yes.
You understand? And then Bantus used to seek their solutions. Niloites seek their solution from above. Bantus. You understand? And from above. Bantus seeked their solution from below. And this is why Bantus lived in the highlands of the planet. You understand? Bantus were people who lived in the places that grew natural spices, skuma mkonayo tu kila mahali, imegrow peke yake, nyanya, whatever. All your foods, all your solutions were from below. Now, the River Lake Niloites seek their solution from above.
Yes.
That is why they used to know. They studied the stars. They studied the moon. They studied the sun. So as above, so below.
Well, can I ask you, is this what we've termed modern day witchcraft? Because
yes.
in Africa, we've been told our ancestors were able to tell you when it's going to rain.
Yes.
And it will rain.
Yes.
Are they also able to stop rain?
Now, let me tell you, nature is constantly moving by itself.
Yes.
Now, Africans studied nature. I want you to look at it this way. Imagine, go back in time. Go back in time. When you go back in time, people are very few, probably watu kidogo. And even in ancient Africa, talk to your grandmothers. They will tell you homesteads were like from there. Like people were scattered all over.
Yes.
Now, the only way people had to seek information was through nature itself. And this is why Africans started inventing the watch clock, the shadow clock. Shadow clock that they started counting with time. That is when they started inventing numerology. After inventing numerology, now they invent astrology.
Yes.
You understand? Astrology is a condensed version of numerology. And then they went and they discovered these things, and they realized that this is actually how the life works. It starts from here at Samoja, when the sun starts. You understand? Sun ikikuja Samoja, the sun is the energy. As above, so below. The energy of the sun venye inakuja ina affect kila mtu. It doesn't matter whether you're a pagan, a Muslim, a Christian, or whatever. When the sun starts, it affects you. And when the sun goes, it affects you. What is the sun? Sun is energy of life. When life starts, it affects you. And everybody starts equally the same at the same time. And it brings with it the seasons. You understand? And so this is what Africans knew. Even our seasons, we would predict rain because walikuwa na study. If you can study the stars, they always align before everything else happens. Even before you're born, wewe ukizaliwa stars kuna venye wali align. That's what is called birth chart. There's a way in which the stars align, and then so now your sun is in what? The zodiac sign, horoscope. You find that your sun is in Aquarius, your moon is in Sagittarius, the ascendant was in, Jupiter was in another sign. You know, different houses, different signs. You find that when you were born, there was a way in which the stars were aligned. Because everything is constantly moving. The earth is rotating.
Yes.
The earth is revolving. The sun in itself is rotating, revolving. Everything moves. Nothing stops to wait for anyone. So even when you were born, there was a particular placement that happened above.
Yes.
That created the below. That is you.
As above,
so below.
So below.
And so as the stars continue to move, from the way you were created, it continues to affect you. We are all affected by the planets. We are all, and you know, human beings, we want to live as though we are not affected by the planets. By the planets and the stars, the way they move. But we are affected by the planets and the stars, the way they move. And that is what Africans discovered. You understand? And that is what Africans discovered, and that is what was called astrology. Orogi. Astrology. You understand? Bantus shorten it. You know, Bantus have a problem with L.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, over time, ikakuwa from astrology to orogi. Ama urogi, ama ushirikina, or whatever. So, this studying of energies is what people call witchcraft. And you know, this witchcraft was cut in Africa. It's only Africans that don't practice astrology. Europeans do. Europeans study astrology, they practice astrology, they are tarot card readers, they are oracle deck readers, but this information was in Africa. It was Africans that invented it, but then it became illegal
for them
in Africa.
And it was taken.
Yeah, and it was exported. And right now, Africans think it is an information that is very foreign. You know, Africans think, hey, astrology, what do you mean? But astrology was discovered in ancient Africa. It was Africans, Bantus, Bantus, they used to use clock ya maji. You understand? And then Sisi Nilotes, we used to use clock ya shadow because we are studying as above, so below. You understand?
Yeah.
So
it's acceptable in Europe,
but
outside Africa, but when it comes to Africa, this is witchcraft.
It is not, When it comes to Africa, astrology is not acceptable, and there's a reason for that.
Yes.
There's a reason. There's a reason why astrology is not accepted in Africa. And let me tell you, when you look at the story of slavery and colonization, there was a whole 500 years. People say it's 400 years, but you know, it was 500 years, a whole 500 years plus, that Africans were dealing with slavery and colonization. You understand? Africans were being taken outside of the continent, being sold into slavery. And during this time, no Africans were allowed to touch books. No Africans were allowed to know how to read and write. And this happened after a time when African universities, you know, the first ever universities in the world existed in Africa.
Really?
Timbuktu, unaongeanga ati,
from here to Timbuktu.
Timbuktu was the greatest university in Africa that people used to come from all walks of life. From the Greeks, you know, to the Phoenicians. These people used to come to Timbuktu to seek knowledge. You understand? People like Akina Pythagoras' theorem studied in Africa. People like Akina Thales studied in Africa. Hesiod, Hermes studied in Africa. And these are some of the greatest Greek philosophers. And when you study Greek philosophy, you're told that Greek are the ancient people. They were the ones who discovered this.
Is that a lie?
It's a lie. Everything that was in Greece, ancient Greek knowledge, all of it, everybody who studied in Africa was the one who took the African knowledge into Egypt. Somebody like Pythagoras, when European invaded Africa, instead of him supporting Africa, because this is the place that was giving him knowledge, he decided to confiscate African libraries and go start his own university in Athens using African books. You understand? So when Africa was being ransacked clean and books were being banned, philosophers just took what they could and took it to their countries and started from there. Now it seems like the beginning was from Greece.
Is this the part where we say a lot of our artifacts are in outside Africa, stored
a lot
in
of our Africans,
international museums?
Yes.
Like that's how they ended up there.
Yes, even Ishango Bone is currently still in Belgium. There's so many African artifacts that are still in Europe due to the time that Africa was ransacked. Yes. Now, the reason why Africans do not know astrology is because the moment Africans will start studying astrology, then the map of Africa will stop being upside down. The moment Africans will start studying astrology, they will start referring to time the way Africans are supposed to refer to time. Why are we referring to time as Europeans? You know,
how should we refer to time?
The way we refer to time in Kiswahili, in our mother tongue. Kama ni saa moja ni saa moja. Kama ni saa mbili ni saa mbili. Si ati unasema ati ni saa moja na unasema 7 a.m. What is that?
What's the difference?
The difference is that when you look at the astrological chart.
Yes.
The African astrological chart is the one that is following the numerology, the ancient numerology. You understand? When it is Samoja, it is Samoja. That is where the sun starts.
1.
Yeah, it is 1.
Not 7.
It is not 7. Because 1 in astrology, what does 1 in astrology mean? Because when now they tell you 1 means 7, then you look at the meaning of 1 as 7. And 7 has its own meaning. 7 has its own vibration. 1 has its own vibration.
1 means?
1 means masculine, the divine masculine. 0 means the divine feminine.
Yes.
And so when you look at the astrology of Africa, 0 starts from Cancer. Cancer is the divine feminine, the moon. The moon is home in Cancer. So when you look at 0, 0, 0, you realize that this is Cancer, this is the moon, this is the divine feminine. And they don't want to tell you. Because now when you start following that, you will realize that women run with the cycle of the moon. Meaning women are supposed to plan themselves monthly. Men are supposed to plan themselves daily. You understand? You look at 1 is the divine masculine.
1.
You understand? Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah.
That's why they have wet dreams daily.
Yes. 1 is the divine masculine and 1 is a representation of Leo. 0 represents Cancer, 1 represents Leo. When you look at that time, now you look at it with time. Nini 0 represent what? Saa 12. Saa 12 huwa inaandikwa 000 mbona? Because it is literally 000. This is where the beginning starts. It's the divine feminine.
Yes.
You understand? And then you move into 1. 1 now is the divine masculine. The alignment. You understand? That's why you see 1, 1, 1. When you see 000, you know that something is about to start.
Yeah.
When you see 1, 1, 1, you know it's aligned.
Yes.
When you see 2, 2, 2, you know. When you see 3, 3, 3. So when you go to 2, 2, 2, Virgo, 3, 3, 3, it goes to Libra. Libra is the balance. You always know 3, 3, 3, balance. You understand? And now when you look at it like that, and then now you come looking at it literally from the way the sun starts to rise. The sun starts to rise at what time? Our ancestors said it gets darker before dawn. 11th hour is the darkest hour. 11th hour is the darkest hour, which gets darker before dawn. You understand? So when does the time begin? It gets darker. Now dawn is coming. Dawn is 00. Saa 12 asubuhi. You understand? And it gets darker at 11. It gets darker before saa 12 asubuhi. Gemini, 11, the twins. And then you go back now to 10, the Taurus. And then before the Taurus, you go back to 9 again in the middle of the night. 9. Saa 9 ya usiku, Aries. That is when the day breaks.
At 3.
Yes, Aries. That is when the day breaks. Yes. Saa 9, the day breaks. That is when a new beginning starts. But when a new beginning starts, bado new beginning, unajuanga tu new beginning imeanza, lakini kuna kwangana ako ka darkest hour. So that is, even when you look at it literally, Aries, saa 9 asubuhi, Aries is when the day starts. Okay? The sun is preparing. The sun is still very young. You can't see it. It's still very young, still a boy. Aries, new beginning. And then you move to Taurus. And this is the time when, even in the year, the day is the same as the year and it's the same as the body. The day is the same as the year and it's the same as the body.
Break that down for us.
Now, let me break it down to you. When I say the day is the same as the year,
yes,
it is literally the same as the year. When Aries is representation of 9, sindio?
Yes.
Saa 9, saa yenye day inaanza. In ancient Africa, we had seasons now. When did the farmers take out their bulls to go start kulima. When? During this time, during the Aries time, and that was March 22nd, from March 22nd to April 22nd. Look at it. Bantus, when do you start taking your bulls out to nini? Even Niloids, when do you start? During that time, that is the beginning.
Yes.
A new beginning, a new dawn. Now it's starting. Now you start preparing.
Yeah.
And then as you move forward to Taurus, Sakumi as Taurus, you still start preparing. You're preparing for your day. You understand? And then Sakumi na moja, it gets darkest. That is the darkest hour. And then after the darkest hour now starts, you move into Cancer, saa 12 asubuhi. You understand?
Yeah.
But now when you follow the European one, do you know, when you follow the European one, now they start telling you that Sagittarius is the divine feminine. Now they start telling you that Capricorn is the divine masculine. It is not making sense. And this is the reason why Africans were excluded from astrology, because they knew if Africans were to learn astrology, then Africans would put the maps the way they're supposed to be. That upside down mentality.
Yes.
It wouldn't make sense.
You're saying the map of Africa is upside down.
Yes.
Down there we have South Africa.
Yes, down there we have
yeah. So down there we should have Egypt. Up there we should have
South Africa. As above,
so below.
And South Africa is the cradle. You know, they tell us that we migrated. When you turn the map of Africa upside down like this, they will tell you that you migrated from Congo. You Bantu, you migrated from Congo. You spread, I don't know, into where it doesn't make sense. And then they tell us, you Niloids, I don't know, we came from where. When you turn them upside down, you realize that Bantus came from South Africa all the way to Egypt. Egypt was like Nairobi. Egypt was like the capital. And when you see where Egypt is, you realize that even it was the connection between even Africa and the Middle East. And Africans used to trade with the Middle Easterns a lot. So this was where they converged to do business and to create civilization. But then this is not where they came from. They came from from South Africa all the way moving up.
Yes.
And even us, the Niloids, we followed the Nile kutoka chini, East Africa, tukienda juu.
Are you saying the developments, the modernization, everything, the culture of Egypt should go back to
Africa? It was Africans, elites from each and every community.
Pyramids ni za kina?
Formed Africans. These pyramids. Sasa unaona, when we live in Nairobi right now, I want you to know what Egypt was, what Kemet was.
Yes.
And the reason why they say Kemet was not black. Kemet was black from the very beginning because it was Africans that came from all over, from all walks of Africa, that created the civilization that was in Egypt. And the pioneers were the Nubians, the Niloids, the Nilo-Saharans, are the ones who went and created Egypt. And that's why you find pyramids are also in Sudan. Pyramids are just not in Egypt. They created the pyramids in Sudan, and then they went and created the pyramids in Egypt. Yeah. And the pyramid was not a tomb. They teach you in history that the pyramid was just a tomb that was used to bury pharaohs. Pyramid ilikuwa na gold pale juu. Na hiyo gold ilikuwa inapata frequencies as above so below. Hiyo gold ilikuwa inapata frequencies that kept everybody aligned in Africa. Trust me, the pyramids ziko aligned along the equator, and it's not by coincidence that they are aligned.
It's not a mistake.
Yeah, it's not by and hiyo gold ndio ilikuwa ya kwanza kutolewa, you know. Hii gold yenye tunasikia in Africa, kila mtu anangangania, and Africans, we are not even wondering why gold inanganganiwa, you know.
Oh, come
we are not
on
even
now.
wondering.
We don't even
gold.
care.
Yeah, we don't even care.
Those are white people problems.
Yeah, white people problems. The crystals in Africa, zinanganganiwa literally, because they know these crystals, they carry energy, particular frequencies. You understand? These crystals that are being taken out of Africa, they carry particular frequencies, and that is something that Africans knew. And that's why the pyramids had gold on top to balance the frequencies of the whole continent.
Yeah.
So, and when they were removed, that frequency fell, and the truth went underground. That is the prophecy that Hesiod and Hermes say. The truth went underground.
Yes.
To be discovered for a future time.
Because it
wasn't safe during that time.
Yes. You keep saying, my ancestors, right?
Yes.
The biggest conversation I've had, especially with Africans, is religion, right? And the Bible, right?
Yes.
So you said our ancestors were the Bantus, where I come from, I think we prayed facing the mountain, right? Now comes the Bible, right? The question, I remember when I put up, like, what is that one question I must ask? One of it is, if we had our own gods that people were praying to before the missionaries came, then the missionaries came and we were redirected to another God. According to you, Christianity is what was used to rob Africans of who they really are. Before you even answer, the gods we used to pray before, the ones our ancestors used to pray to before, is that the same God but in a different language?
Yes. Hey. Our God, Ombongo Nyakalaga, from the Niloites, Sonini na Nini, from the Bantus, you know, each and everybody, Ngai, whatever. Each and every community has a name for their God. When you come back to ancient Africa, when you come back to Saizi, to Africa Saizi, the God is the same, just misrepresented, you know, painted. You understand? But God is the same. Even the Bible is an African thing. You know, let me tell you what the Bible is, literally. Let me describe it here today.
Yeah.
What the Bible is a collection of different mythological stories from different indigenous communities collected to form one tool of control. It's composed of droplets of truths from each and every community, composed to make one big ocean of lies. You understand? Yeah.
The Bible is a lie.
It contains, the way it is being presented today, it contains lies. And the Bible that we have today is called the slave Bible. It has been translated throughout history to the point it has reached a point where it has no meaning. Its original meaning has been tainted. You understand? And that is why there are some books that are not present, like the book of Enoch. There are some books, you know, Mary Magdalene wrote a whole text about Jesus and her relationship with Jesus. It is not there. Women in the Bible the Bible encourages slavery today. You understand? And this is just, when you look at the Bible today, I want you to look at the Bible as a book that was authentic in the beginning. But its pages has been scrapped up according to the leadership that we've had over time and the narratives that those leaders wanted to push through. Leaders who wanted to push through the narrative of slavery, put in slavery in the Bible, because they know people trust this thing, and if it is in the Bible, case done. You understand? People who wanted to push the narrative of racism, they used the Bible to push that narrative, because when you look at the Bible, even the map of Africa being upside down now, you start reading the Bible and knowing where the Nile is, how it is flowing, which kingdoms are where is Babylon, where is Israel. Israel was invented Juicy. The modern Israel. When was the modern Israel invented? When has the Bible been in existence? So where is the real Israel? You understand? So these are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself. And when you look at some certain verses in the Bible, like Jeremiah 14, I think, there are some words wametoa. You know, soma. Kuna words zenye ziko kwa the old King James version, yenye ina mention at the end, you wame mention black people. And those people were worshiping and they were black. And then when you look at the New Livings, I don't know, recent, you find out that the Bible was talking about black people, wamechange sasa, it is just people. Wametoa the word black, wakaeka people. Now, you understand? This is the same trickery that is going on in the Bible, is the same trickery that is going on in people saying Egypt was white. You understand?
You keep saying the spiritual journey is not easy.
Yes.
You don't talk about religion at all. Where is the conflict between spirituality and religion?
Spirituality is science. You know, science is a white man's way of labeling African spirituality. Because spirituality is natural. You live it whether you are aware of it or not. But now, how do you become spiritual? By stepping into the awareness of what is actually going on. And how do you step into the awareness of what is actually going on? By going within, because nothing exists outside that doesn't already exist within.
Yes.
You understand? So you have to go within for you to look at life actually and see what is actually going on.
How do I go within? Relax. How do I go? No, just
how do you go within?
Yeah.
Going within, now let me tell you.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you a very
How
beautiful...
did you go within?
Yeah. a very beautiful way of going within is by listening to your body. Your body is the perfect road map. Your body is a map. This body that you have, it is a map. And it is always communicating to you. But the religion is now the conflict that tells you not to look outside instead of looking within. You understand? When you look within, you will know. Even you will enter into rooms that are dangerous for you and you will feel it.
Oh, say that again.
You will, you will interact with people who are not good for you.
And you'll feel their energy.
Feel it. And always trust your body, because your body will meet somebody for the first time and it will be like, hey, me energy zake zilikuwa too off.
Wow.
And then if you dismiss that, you will be caught unaware with this person, because when your body tells you that, energy yake iko too off, stay with that and wait for your body to prove you right, because your body will prove you right. That person will come and they will do something and you will remember that, oh, no wonder when I met them. Your body is always telling you, tumemit Ngugi leo. Stay aware. How you feel. Your body is the roadmap that is always guiding you. Even in decisions, it will always tell you that, no, that's a wrong decision.
Hold on. Because this is for me. Sorry, guys. I gotta do this for me.
It's okay.
Because I've been looking for this answer, right? So I told you, we went to Kisumu. And this elder spoke about jogi. So I realized I have this like very... Is it like gut feeling, my intuition and something? And every time I fight it, something catches up with me. Every time I fight my gut feeling, I pay a heavy price for it. How do I separate? Is my body also my gut feeling? Like,
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Your body is the roadmap that you have to walk this life. When you hear sin in ancient Hebrew means missing a mark. There are marks on your path that you follow. It's like playing temple run. Unaona venye hizo coins zinakuanga? Unapita na coin, hiyo coin inakwambia, those are the marks that you have. Every time you don't listen to your body and you don't choose according to the way your body wants, you're missing a mark.
You're sinning.
Exactly. Exactly. And the more you miss marks, you get out of alignment. Unaona temple run, asipo nini hizo coin ako out of alignment, you get out of alignment. And these marks are synchronicities. You always observe the synchronicities. There are synchronicities in your life. So when you listen to your body, you will know the synchronicities very well. Sometimes you'll just meet people and you'll be so excited, like, oh, I don't know why I'm excited about this person, but I'm so excited. And then later on you realize that this person will going to play a very huge role in your life. You understand? And when it happens, you know. So always listening to your body. It will always tell you, listen, switch off the outside noise. It's so loud. The outside noise is music. Your father, your mother,
your sister,
the society. Kila mtu anakupigia nduru. Fuata hii. Twende kwa hii. Fuata hii. But now the biggest challenge is, will you stay on your lane? You know, and always make decisions. Mtu akikwambia ati, tufanye hivi, and your gut feeling is telling you no, say no. People pleasing makes you to stray off your path a lot. And choosing your path, sometimes you will choose your path even when it makes zero sense.
Oh.
Kuna pesa tu itakuja kwa maisha yako and then you'll feel like, sijisikii na hii job hata kama pesa ni mingi hivyo. You understand? Sijisikii tu na hii hata kama pesa ni mingi hivyo, and then you say no.
I don't want.
Yeah, I don't want. But people in your life will tell you, hiyo ni job kubwa unaachaje hivyo, and then you start feeling guilty.
Hiyo ni deal.
Unatokea. And then you start being confused, unachagua. And then unachagua, and then you find yourself now in a deep, and those people will not be there. Listen, and yourself will guide you even when it makes zero sense.
Just listen.
Listen! Because there's something called the lady in red. The lady in red will always come. You know, the world will always test you.
Yeah.
You will manifest something, and right when it is at the corner there, Mungu anakutumia ama setani, ama whatever you like to call it, lady in red anapita pale. Just before your turning point, there's always a lady in red. Something that is telling you to go back to repeat the cycle that you've just fought so hard to come out of. exam. Even inaitwanga Mercury retrograde. Ukisikianga Mercury retrograde, jua hiyo ni time ya mtihani. Exam. You understand? And literally exam in school, si unaletewa vitu zenye ulishasoma.
Yes.
Wajue, do you know it? This is exactly the same way that thing that the universe does. Right when your manifestation iko pale. Lady in red anatokea hapo exam. Will you pass it or not? Your ex calling back. You understand?
The ex is calling back.
Yes. And all this is happening to stray you from your path. Life ni squid game. Hakuna feelings by the way. If you walk this life, hautakuwa na feelings mob because unajua tu ni squid game. It's either you stay on that path or you don't. For you to jump a timeline, you have to make a decision. You can't honor the future doesn't exist. What we have is the now.
The present.
The present moment is what swells. Ngugi, mimi na wewe tunaweza decide tukae hapa for 1 year. Si tunaweza?
Yes.
Tunaamka tu chai tunakunywa tu tunakaa. That is how it will be for our
own
year.
I feel like I want to sit with you for the whole year. Like I just want to be here the whole year.
But when we make a decision, what will change that? Whatever is going on now, when you make a decision to do something
end the show.
Different. Yes.
Yes.
So it is always the now that is swelling.
Yeah.
There's no tomorrow. It's always the now that is swelling. So remove time. If now is not swelling, you are not moving. If the now is not swelling, you are not moving.
At all.
And that is what people should always know. And this is what religion is not teaching. So when I talk to you about spirituality, I'm saying spirituality is natural, the natural ways in which things occur. And then religion is a curated. If today I had a job offer, 2 job offers, and I decide to go with this and not that, I've moved from that reality. There's a reality you're moving from.
Yes.
You understand? So every time you're making a decision, you're jumping from a particular timeline into another reality.
Yes.
And the more realities you jump into, the more successful you become.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with age. Life has everything.
The more realities.
Yes, you shift, the more successful you become. The quicker you move. You move very quick when you are making decisions. You understand? Because there is change in decision. You understand? There are people somebody will live 1 year 30 times. And there's somebody who will live 30 different years. Those people are not the same. They are not even at the same place in life.
Yeah.
There are people who are scared to make decisions. There are people who, they avoid making decisions. They avoid dealing with making decisions. But you know, whenever you avoid making decisions, you're avoiding jumping timelines.
Yes.
You're stuck.
You're stuck.
You're stuck in yesterday.
Yeah.
You're stuck. You will be stuck in yesterday as everybody else is moving.
So spirituality is me looking within. Religion is what I'm being forced to.
You looking out. Religion ni unaangalia nje ndio uapply ndani. Spirituality is unaangalia ndani ndio unapply nje.
Very easy.
It's very easy and very very different.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is the only difference because religion is following a certain curated kuna venye imecuratiwa na human beings. So there is already an outcome yenye watu wanajua. Yeah, but then when it comes to spirituality, now you're creating your own reality. Hakuna mtu anajua outcome yenye inaenda kukuja.
Yeah.
I used to live in a house that was very difficult to access from the road. And I felt like it was so difficult to access for real. This was a direct reflection of how inaccessible I was as a person.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere you live, hata kwenye unaishi saizi kama if this is your neighborhood, just look at what is going on outside if you are lost. Look at everything that is going on outside. It will tell you the relationship that you have with yourself. If you feel like your home is too inaccessible, it means that you are not accessible to the universe for the universe to use. Everything is constantly a reflection. And I was inaccessible for real. For the universe not to use properly. Barabara yangu ilikuanga cheke kuingia. Hadi Uber used to complain and everything. But then I knew, I got to a realization that this is what so I moved. Saizi I live like barabara ndo ina. Mimi niko hapa. Na unaona ulini access. It is, we have solutions everywhere. If you can't looking within is so foggy, like kuna fog mob.
Just look outside.
The system of education that was introduced.
Let's talk about education.
Yeah, the system of education that was introduced by the white man was devised to be against a black child. And if you're a black child and you're still passing in that system, pat yourself in the back because you are very excellent. You're beyond excellent because this system was devised to fail a black child. And this is the reason to keep your mentality down, for you to look down on yourself, because now if you can't pass through this system, then it means you're a stupid person. And a lot of black people consider themselves stupid because they failed an 844 system. You know, judging a fish using its ability to climb a tree. It's impossible. It will not climb. You understand? So most of the time, when you look at these things, you realize that there's a mentality being driven. A mentality that that is processing you. You are raw. You are born into this planet raw. You fall in raw, like raw sugarcane. But there's a process that has been carefully devised to turn you into sugar. Process everybody else so that everybody else looks uniform. Why is everybody else being made to look uniform? For us to make good workers for capitalism. So that certain few people can continue reaping off of what everybody else should be enjoying.
Yes. Before we even started, we were talking about clothes and what they mean.
Yes.
And you said, Kitambo, what we wore was very significant.
Yes.
Now we are wearing polos, Nikes, Adidas, all those things. And you are like, you could easily tell this child was from this region, by the way. Talk to me about that.
When you talk about dress code, Africans are people, and you will see it even as life continues to unfold. You'll realize that Africans are people who just don't do things for the sake of it. There's a significance. In ancient Africa, we did things according to nature. We lived one-on-one with nature. You understand? So even initiations, you've had in ancient Africa, we had stuff like age group, age set, you know, you've heard about it.
Yeah.
And then when they are teaching you about age groups, they will teach you what, you know, Africans were divided into these groups so according to age, and they explain it a very shallow way. You cannot even understand what an age group was. Age groups were zodiac signs. You understand? Zodiac signs were being grouped according to which date were you born? You understand? Which date were you born? What were your planetary alignments? And you know, these zodiac signs, they can tell your strength and your weaknesses. So when you hear age group and age sets in ancient Africa, go research more about it and know what it was all about, because age groups and age sets came about as zodiac signs. People were grouped according to the alignment of the stars when they were born. You understand? And so from this is already a significance. When you're born here, you're a Pisces. You're grouped with other Pisces. Not necessarily with other Pisces, but you're grouped according to your strengths.
Yes.
You understand? These ones are grouped like this. They did not group people according to, this one, Wavulana was Chana. Roles were contributed in ancient African society according to age sets and age groups. And these age sets and age groups were zodiac signs. And once you belonged to one age group, that was your age group throughout your life. Still, generations. Nowadays, we call them millennials, Gen Z. These are things that were in ancient Africa. And so, when you looked at an African child from the Himba, today we have Himba. Go check out Himba tribe. They've retained. Go check out Maasai. In ancient Africa, when you look at a Himba child, or a child from the Luo, or a child from the Gikuyu tribe, or a child from the Luya tribe, you would tell that this child is from Luya. You would tell that this child is from Luya, from this clan, and they are this years old. Identity was displayed by, there was no hiding. There was no hiding. You would, your identity was displayed by just somebody looking at you, and they would already know everything about you, and you would also look at yourself and you'd say that, yes, this is who I am, and this is where I come from, and you would feel a sense of belonging to it. But today, when you look at how the European styles develop, how their styles that we use today develop, it came from sports. During the time when slavery and colonization was occurring, a lot of Africans were being transported to Europe. Imagine the roles were reversed. wazungu wanakuja tu hapa, nyinyi we kazi yako ni kukaa tu
Kwa our highlands.
Yes.
Ranches.
Yes, they come. If black people were going to Europe to be slaves,
And then they come here for comfort.
and then they come here for comfort, and even in their homes now they did not have work to do anymore. A slave would even wash you. Some white people were very arrogant. Even their slaves would even wash them. You understand? So they had a lot of free time. When you have slaves everywhere, you have a lot of free time, and that is how they started developing their fashion. So when you look at the fashion we wear today, unajivunia sana. You know, some universities hadi wanajivunia sana, but when you look at the history of it and how you contributed towards that style, then you realize that, oh, you're mocking yourself. You're mocking yourself because you let go of your identity, your languages. You know, you let go of your everything African only for you to adopt something that grew out of your own pain and suffering. Even today in Africa, you find people restricting Africans from being Africans. Dreadlocks are just accepted the other day. You understand? Kujidharau. And you let somebody else play their own narrative as you're shrinking yourself to give them way. You understand? So that is what happened. And when you look at African, this is why we are trying so hard to awaken the African style, because it was so wonderful.
It was beautiful.
So brilliant. So colorful. And they know it. And you guys, when we are allowed now to display it, you will see. You will ask yourself, like, why were we not doing this? Because Africans perceive color differently. Africans, even our taste buds are different. We have to agree. We have to agree that we are a different people. And we've not been expressing ourselves the way we are. We've been expressing ourselves the way Europeans are. That's why even hair, you find we have a lot of chemicals breaking our hair. We are trying to make our hair straight as Europeans. You don't know that your hair is supposed to resume its own natural form. Because when it resumes its natural form, the corporates say that it is indecent, it looks dirty or whatever.
Shaggy.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that we need to accept about ourselves. Yes, that shagginess is ours. When your hair is left to take its natural form, it will become shaggy. And it's there for a reason. It's like having this tree. There's a tree that has leaves that are very straight, and then there are trees that have leaves that are very kinky. You can't do anything about it. You can't start telling the tree that has leaves that are... Let me blow dry you so that you look a little bit presentable. That is what we are doing.
Yeah.
That is what we are doing. As Africans, when we reject our own ways and we adopt other people's ways, that is what you're doing. You're a fish trying to climb trees because everybody else is
climbing
trees.
What part of the religion that we've been exposed to as Africans annoys you?
The part of the religion that we've been exposed to as Africans that annoys me is we've been exposed only to one side. Religion, for it to be balanced, you have to bring the left and the right. Amen. You understand? Amen. You understand? Amen. This was our way. This was bringing the left and the right, and amen. And we still do it up to today, but very ignorant.
Say not Amina. You're saying something else.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doing this, we still do it up to today, but very ignorantly. We don't know why.
And quickly.
Yeah, and very quickly. But it has a meaning. Bring the left, bring the right, bring it to balance. Yin, yang, balance. Light, dark, balance. You understand? Because when you live in the light, yin will tell you, do not do evil. When you live in the right, you are not doing evil, sindio?
Yes.
Kuna wenye wanafanya evil.
Yeah.
Wewe si haufanyi.
Yeah.
But kuna wenye wanafanya. So for you to reach a point of balance, you have to be like Moses. Part the Red Sea and walk in the middle. Don't walk in left. Don't walk in right. Walk inside the middle of it. Do not do evil. Do not accept evil. And for you to not accept evil, you have to do what? Equip yourself in a way that you will not accept evil from anyone. If I am a warrior in the field, you understand?
Yes.
For me to fight, I have to know how to fight.
You know, we were talking about empaths, and you said we think it's cute.
Yeah.
Giving is cute.
Yeah.
All we do is give.
Yeah.
What's the problem with that?
Now, let me tell you, in the universe,
Yes.
the only obligation you have towards the entire universe is the one you owe yourself. Because you are the universe experiencing itself in human form. You are the only obligation you have. Everybody is in their lane. And you You are the only obligation that you have. The moment you subject yourself to situations that make you feel otherwise, you're sinning. You're missing a mark. The moment you're giving and you are going hungry, you're sinning. The moment you are allowing people to step on you and dictate your life, you're sinning. You understand? Every time you subject yourself to situations that you are not aligned with, you're sinning. Because the only obligation you owe the world is the one that you owe yourself. And the more you feel good, that is reflected outside. And the more you feel bad, it's reflected outside. You attract what you are. You understand? And so when you know that, then you know that that is the religion. This religion that we are being taught today, it tells you turn the other cheek. Only live on the light. Living on the light only is demonic. If you're somebody, you're just living on the light, you have no capacity to defend yourself from a manipulator. Because we have the darkness and we have the light. The people will manipulate. But are you able to allow yourself to be manipulated? For you to not be able to manipulate, you have to learn that this is how manipulation works.
Looks like. And
this is
how
what it looks like. And you recognize it and you say, no. But if you cannot, you don't even know what manipulation looks like. Because you want to dwell on the light. You want to live, you are a good person. You call yourself a good person. You're not helping anybody. The only way you help the universe is when you don't do evil and you don't accept it as well. You don't keep quiet in the faces of evil. You do not accept it. And when it comes, you defend yourself ruthlessly against it. If you can't defend yourself from evil, then you're allowing it to happen. You're allowing it to happen into the world. And so that is the religion that should be taught. Do not accept evil and do not do it.
Evil.
In equal measure, if you lean on one other side, you're not doing anything to help the planet or yourself.
At all.
At all. You're just wasting your space and now you're moving towards disease. Because the moment you start doing things that are not good for you, you stop moving towards ease. You stop moving towards the path of least resistance. Now you start moving towards the path of resistance, the path of disease. And before you know it, you'll be gone back to source.
You are gone.
You're gone.
Thanks for reminding me. In Africa, we have herbs.
Yes.
Our ancestors would use these. You said even like animals, that's therapy. Herbs was medicine. Now it's what we call miti ni dawa, kwa waganga. Okay, let me just ask. I'm just asking from a place of naivety. What happened to our African medicine?
When you look at nature, it still goes back to what is not above cannot exist below. What is not within
cannot exist outside.
And so every solution that you seek within, even health, it's in the environment. That's why kuna herbs, like, that's why even in ancient Africa kulikuwa na seasons, okay? Season ya maembe ni season ya maembe. Na season ya maembe inakuja na maembe because hiyo maembe ukikula hiyo season, it will help you fight all the diseases that come with that season. Season ya avocado inakusaidia fight all. It was natural, you understand? Because things that are in nature were there to support you. Everything is always working for you. Nothing is against you. So when we started now going against that, now maembe tu zinapandwa, GMO tu kila mahali, zinakuja any season. We've lost.
We are even importing now.
We are even importing now. Eating local is not a thing anymore. Kila mtu anataka kugrasp zenye ziko nje. Forgetting that KFC. Nature is already working for you here. Nature is already working for you. And so kila kitu yenye iko in nature, Africans knew that it was there to help. So there were just people who were researching to know that, this plant is supposed to do this. If you tap into spirituality, you recognize nature. By just knowing that, what traits does this tree present? And then you go look for it. Inside of you, there's a particular trait that matches the one of that particular tree. Let's talk about marijuana, for example. Marijuana, where marijuana gets you, that high that you achieve, you can achieve it without marijuana. You understand? These things that we get outside of us are just there to help ignite it, to make it easy.
I can be high without marijuana?
Yes, you can tap it. Whatever CBD does, whatever CBD taps into, you can tap. You have that receptor.
How?
You can tap into it when you meditate, when you get yourself, the more outside noise you shut, because marijuana helps you to shut the outside noise so that you only deal with what is within.
Yeah.
So when the more outside noise, you can actually shut the outside noise without using marijuana and actually get yourself to that particular point of highness without using that. But things are in nature to help you. If you can't get there, now you use the things in nature to get there. If you can't heal yourself, now you use the things in nature to help you. To help you set that particular intention. And this is how Africans used to live. Kitu kama diabetes was known in ancient Africa aje. Diabetes, Africans used to detect diabetes, but still using nature, everything, nature collaborating.
Yes.
Mtu anakuja anakojoa. If ants go to that mkojo, they'll know that wameenda hapo because sukari imewaitisha. So there's sukari hapo. Yeah.
God, talking of which, exactly.
So these things, Africans were able to hack the system, and they were moving spiritually until Europeans came to start moving the world technically. And so we started moving towards the technology of food and comfort and transport. But Africans were moving with the technology of spirituality to discover the planet. The planet is so huge. It's so big. This planet is it's not just us that are here. The same way there was a time white people thought they were there alone and black people thought they were here alone, right? Until we discovered each other. There's still more discovery we need to do, and the war is in who is going to make this discovery. So other people are making sure that ukifika kwa finish line umerudishwa nyuma. Ndio wengine go back. But then what they don't know is nature always takes over. Nature will always take over. There's nothing in this world that you will discover if nature doesn't allow it. There's power in unity of the people. When people get to know that they are related, that they are connected with one another, then they start to flow and nature takes over, and now nature starts to play its own rhythm.
Yes.
But hii rhythm yenye nature inafaa kuplay, ndio some people are against. Because they know that nature is very fair. There's a time to be hunted and a time to hunt.
And it's time to hunt.
Exactly.
What's the problem we have with Gen Z in the African context? Because to us, this is just a generation that is everywhere, but nowhere in particular. What's the problem
with Gen Z?
Yes.
Gen Z are the code breakers. Gen Z have come here to break a particular code. Okay, they are the last generation. They are the last Z, generation Z. Millennials are generation Y. And then after millennials, we have already generation Alpha already being born. And millennials grew up at a time where you were born, shule. You know, you're born, kuna shule. There was a particular path that was defined that millennials followed.
Yes.
Every millennial.
Yes.
And a lot of millennials followed this path until they reached dead end. You follow it and you reach a dead end.
I can't.
And you're like, see, waliniambia nikipita primary, nipite high school, nipite university, now daktari lazima,
Yes.
you know. And you follow this, millennials have followed religiously the paths that they were told to follow, even when it comes to marriage and everything, paths that have been set. And we have to admit, a lot of millennials have reached a point where it is dead end, a point of futility. Now you need to go back within. You've looked outside your whole life. Now you're being told, go back within because answers are within. And then there's a generation that is being born looking out inside. They don't, you give birth, and it is millennials that are creating this particular
generation.
Yeah, this particular avenue, this particular space for, because millennial mother, when you look at a millennial mother right now, the way they are raising their children is very different from the way they were raised themselves.
Yes.
And that is the change that is occurring. And for a change to happen, chaos have to occur. And this is the reason why you will find that Gen Zs will make it difficult at the workplace. They will make your life difficult at the workplace because they will not take anything. And the reason is because they are bringing that they're creating, Gen Zs are like John. creating way for alphas, you know. Hao ndio wamezaliwa hii time yenye confusion is everywhere and people have to, you need, Gen Zs are literally millennials going back within. You understand? Gen Z is like a literal representation of millennials going back within, and when you go back within, it's the spiritual journey is not nice. Okay? It is dark and it is light. It is not love and light only. You're going to cry. You're going to be tempted. You are going to reach a point where you have to trust you whether you like it or not. Or you press the exit button.
Yes.
You understand? And this is what a lot of millennials dealt with. But now Gen Zs are coming in now with their eyes turned inside. Because they're already seeing millennials, ile njia yenye watu wanafuata. Kama mtu anakuambia ati ufuate nje utakuwa daktari na jobs haziko. Graduates wamekaa hapo nje. Hakuna mtu mwenye akona kazi, watu walipata A wanakaa hapa takataka nje hapa. Utarudia? No, utarudia. You cannot go through the same path yenye unaona ina lead watu to the tomb.
Yes.
We are not here to experience collective experience. And this is something that Africans need to realize. That experience yako ni unique. It's yours. You might be somebody who's very bright. But you don't want to become a doctor.
No.
You don't want to
become a lawyer.
Yeah. No. You want to dance. Do it with that brain. Take that brain to dancing and see just how much you will do. See just how much dance you will develop. Take that brain into, fashion design and just see how much. It's not always that the moment you're intelligent, until now you have to stick to a particular path. You can become successful even by just cleaning people's houses, even if you got an A, if it is something that you are doing from the bottom of your heart.
There we go. You said it. That's just it. If it's something you are doing from the bottom of your heart.
Authenticity, and that is the clash between Gen Zs and millennials.
Yes.
Belief systems.
Yeah.
Our belief systems are very different. Millennials are very scared to let go. Because unajua Gen Z ni mtu mwenye ata let go because they have nothing to lose at the end of the day. Gen Zs feel like they don't even want to be here to begin with.
Oh.
They feel like they don't even want to be here. And so when you don't want to be somewhere, what are you going to do? I have a life now. I don't want to be here. Then I'm going to do the best I can
to get out of here.
Or to make this life worth it for me. If it is not worth it for me, then there's no point on me. If I'm working a job that I don't like, if I'm at a toxic work environment, I will not be there. I'd rather go home and live with my parents and live in the village as long as I'm happy and I'm not slaving to survive.
To survive.
Exactly. But millennials, wamereiziwa na hii conservativeness.
Woga.
A millennial wako na woga. That is the clash. A millennial, you'll find a millennial who is an artist, but anakufa kwa desk. Anakufa kwa desk because haezi give up your salary yenye ni assured. Because they don't want to step into the unknown. And Gen Zs are not scared to step into the unknown. We will go into the unknown and we are ready to deal with the consequences of it. But millennials, and that is why watoto wenyu watawapatia
talking like this because you are Gen Z now.
Let me tell you, your kids, millennials who are having children, you're not ready for that generation. Millennials who are having children, you're giving birth to children who've been here before. They've not been in this particular reality, but you're giving birth to constellations that are repeating themselves.
Yeah. And this is the clash now.
Yes. Now that it's going to be a clash between parents, but it's going to create something beautiful.
What are we creating? I mean, give me some good news here. What am I creating?
Now let me tell you. Unaona, this is a very beautiful time to be alive.
Yes.
Because this time, millennials are the ones who are now creating this generation that is going to do the unthinkable, the unexpected, like the things we read in history that happened in history. We are going to be the generation that is going to be read about also. You understand the way we read about Akina Queen Nafiti, Queen Sheba?
Yes.
We read about Mansa Musa. We read about, the great people who are... And sometimes you ask yourself like, hey, when these people were tapping into which... Now those are the people that are now being created again.
People say, there are people who will watch this, they won't understand your weirdness. Some people have seen... First, what do you say to people when they call you a witch?
Sasa acha nikwambie. So inanifurahisha when people call me a witch because whenever somebody calls me a witch, I just know hata hawajui what is going on. And hakuna kitu mbaya kama hiyo. You are very vulnerable. Because let me tell you, when people call me a witch, now what I see.
Yes.
You see, biology talks about the immune system. Kila mtu akona immune system physically. Spiritually too, as above so below, we also have an immune system. You understand? So people who call you a witch, you know that person is very immunocompromised. To become immunocompromised is any pathogen can enter into your body and attack you and actually cause mayhem in your life. Because your doors are open. Your gates are open. Spiritually, if your gates are... People who don't know what witchcraft is, people who don't understand what witchcraft is, your gate is open. It means that your gate is open. You can... and you are vulnerable. You think I'm vulnerable, or you think you're making me feel bad, but I feel bad for you.
You don't know anything.
Because you don't know what witchcraft is. I wish you knew. And people who call themselves witches, now those are the ones I respect. Because they know energy. Witchcraft is energy. Intention. Ona, Eileen, hata we mwenyewe umewahi kuwa na... I'm sure each and every person, kila mtu amewahi kuwa na something that just happens. They wished for it to happen and it happened. How? You understand? You call me a witch and you go to school, geography teaches you about the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer. You know, what is it about? What is a Capricorn? What is a Cancer? What does it mean? You call us witches because we use zodiac signs, and yet you wake up every day in the morning and the sun is shining.
Oh, man.
The sun is energy. The sun is representation of energy. Yes. And when I tell you, I wanted to explain to you, the day is the same as the year.
Yeah.
The day is the same as the year in a sense that when the sun the sun is very young at Satisa. The same way the sun is very young during March, when the year starts. Yes. When you look at summer, autumn, winter, all these seasons.
When we start to prepare.
When we start the year, when we start to prepare, the year is very young.
Yeah.
Now it moves, the sun moves until ifike saa sita ndio 000. Hii ndio time yenye kitu inataka kuzaliwa. You understand? The sun is now reaching its full glory. Saa sita, the sun inakuanga karibu, the shadow, when you look at your shadow, by then learn with it with the shadow.
Yes.
Saa sita, the shadow iko almost karibu kukua aligned. Now look at your shadow saa saba. It will show you as above,
so below.
So below. Look at your shadow, iko hapo. When you look at your shadow saa saba, it is alignment, Leo, divine masculine. You understand?
Yeah.
And that time of the year is now this time, August. Leo time is August now. This is the time that people are reaping. And when you look at the spiritual people, this is the time that you see a lot of spiritual people are reaping. And when you look at even people who plant, this is the time that they harvest.
This was aligned.
Yes.
We are doing this right now.
Exactly.
Yes.
So when you look at the way the year runs, it's the same way the day runs.
But August ni nane, right?
No. August ni nane according to Europeans.
Nipeleke pole according to African.
According to Africans, I want you to look at inini.
Yes.
The way saa sita, when saa sita June.
Yeah. 6 minus.
Yeah, now when it goes back, it doesn't go to 8. It goes back to 6 ndio inaishanga. 12, inaisha at 12, hapo 6.
Yes.
12, 6, 12, hapo. And then now you move to 1 again. You understand? You also have to know how it moves. As above, so below. Kuna watu wa above na kuna watu wa below. That's why tuko na different in time.
Yeah.
Time yenye sun iko Africa, iko Europe. Na time yenye sun iko Europe, iko Africa. You understand? So hiyo ndio above and below. Time yenye ni usiku Africa, ni mchana kwingine.
Hebu turudi nyuma, tulikuwa tumeenda, pole nime lose track. we were very okay.
Yes. Saa tisa.
March.
September.
Yes.
Now we have Leo season.
Yes.
I don't even want you to call it nane because now that is confusing.
Yes.
Say Leo. Ita hizi vitu inaanza Aries, inaenda Taurus. Saa moja asubuhi inaanza Aries, inaenda Taurus, inaenda Gemini, inaenda Cancer, inaenda Leo, after Leo Virgo. After Virgo tunaenda below. Tunaenda kwa Libra. Then after Libra you go to Scorpio. After Scorpio, you go to Sagittarius. After Sagittarius, you go to Capricorn. And then after Capricorn, you go to Aquarius and then Pisces.
Yes.
Wako hivyo venye wamepangana.
Yeah.
Ukianza hii maneno ya mzungu kukuambia ati January wachana nayo hiyo. Just put their information aside kwanza.
Do people think you are racist? that you hate white people?
I don't actually hate white people, and white people know I don't hate white people.
Yeah.
Actually, I even have a lot of white people who follow me. I've dated white people, actually.
Yes.
I don't hate white people. I hate the mentality that is being fed, that is being driven by a lot of white supremacists. You understand? The confusion, forcing Africans to follow their own way when we have our own ways to live. You understand? There's always... Huwezi chukia huyu mtu mwenye anatakanga tu mfanye vitu venye yeye anataka. Yeye hataki ufanye vitu venye wewe unataka. And when I tell you this, it is still the same. Can you stay on your path? Africa did not stay on its path. We were able to be swayed. We did not stay on our path as an individual. What is going on with us individually is going on with us collectively. So as a continent, when you see that people are not following the paths that they are supposed to stick to, know that it is happening even collectively. You understand? It's happening even collectively. Africa as a continent has not been on its path because tumekuwa in a narcissistic relationship with Europe and Asia. You understand? Tumekuwa in a relationship where people just want to take from us and give nothing. And when we want to follow our own way, mtu ataki.
Now, your hair.
Hey.
Let's come back to your crown.
Yes.
What does it mean?
So my hair, this is, okay, the color choices that I chose for my hair is very crazy. This color, this was the color of my hair when I was young. Okay, unajonga wale watoto wenye, kuna watoto wenye wanakuanga na color ya hii nywele. Like your hair is not black. Yes, those ones that are called kwashiako kids.
Yes, yeah.
Now me, I used to have brown hair. Like my hair was brown. To the point, it was almost turning red. So I used to have issues. Nikisoma Kiboro. I went to Kiboro Primary. When I was in Kiboro, I used to be like, the teacher used to get me outside all the time that I'm dirty. You understand? Because my hair was very brown. My hair used to be very brown. So I wanted to keep hair, but I couldn't in the long run because it was they used to call it dirty. So it gave me a lot of trauma with my hair as I was growing up. Only for me to come and realize, there was a time I dyed my hair this color and it looked really good. So only for me to come and realize that this is actually my natural color. Like I actually look good in it. So my color choices, I decided to do this color because of that particular experience. I just want to have this color now, staunchly, you know, because I want to reclaim that I look good in it. Yes. I wish I knew as a child.
And you do. Oh, obviously you don't. You don't want telling you do. Yes.
Yeah, but then the color now placement. Yes. Now I move with nature as well as my ancestors. As above, so below. I want to remind myself. Please. I want to always remind when I look into the mirror. That is the philosophy I live by.
Yes.
As above,
so below.
So below.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is what I decided to do when I know I will change it as we go, but for now this is the meaning of it.
This here.
Yes.
The
makeup.
Here the white and the 3 dots.
The white
and the one between the eyes.
No, this one.
Yes.
This I like to draw. Like most of the time, when you find me drawing these curves, there's always like a complete circle or a circle that is not complete. And this circle, when it is not complete, it's either facing above, below, or east or west. So personally, I love to have, you know, this one as a signification of like the moon when it is in a quarter.
Yeah.
Right now, that is where I am at emotionally. So that is where I am at emotionally. Like I'm not bleeding. I'm not with the full moon anymore. I've shifted.
Yes.
I've been bleeding with the full moon, but I shifted into the quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to have it. As that. Sometimes I have it in full, depending on what I'm feeling.
Where you are.
Yeah, and then depending on where I am or what I'm feeling. And then the three to me is like the three pillars. The 6-9, 3-6-9.
Yes.
Yeah, the 3-6-9. I will create videos about it on my TikTok to explain it.
Yes.
But it has a very huge significance when it comes to dividing yourself into like small sections of routines. My septum.
Sorry, we are not letting you go before we get the full story behind the look. Yeah.
This septum, the story behind the septum is very funny. I used to date someone.
Yeah.
And they took my freedom. Like Mimi, I've always had an issue with my freedom being taken. That is the biggest shadow I've always dealt with in life. Like, I've always, when I date people, they always want to own me in some way, in a way that they don't want me to do my own stuff or to make my own decisions. So there was a time I was in a relationship with someone, and they dictated that I will not have any marks on my body. You understand? And that relationship in itself, I stayed in it. You understand? I stayed in it because I needed to learn whatever I needed to learn at that particular point. So when I got out of that particular relationship, wow, I got this because it was a reminder. Like, this always reminds me of a time when I couldn't even have a piercing or a tattoo or anything because somebody was dictating it, that I do not have it.
I know we started with your look, we gotta end with your look. Your hand, one more that we did not talk about.
There's this lady. Wow. Now, you see.
That's beautiful.
This is a
can
queen.
I see this?
Yes, sure.
Oh, you can. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
To me, that ring represents divine feminine. It represents the matriarchal power that existed in ancient Africa before the coming of the white man and before the coming of patriarchy. This, to me, represents like who we were before the invention of women. As I told you, in ancient Africa, we were divided according to age sets and age groups. There was no man, no woman.
Yes.
So even androgynous women who are very masculine existed, and nobody cared about it because at the end of the day, gender was very fluid. You were allowed to identify whichever way you wanted to identify. Because when you look at even the Wudabe men used to have a lot of makeup and be very feminine. They took after the tradition of the birds. You know, they are the ones who now make themselves pretty for women. Yeah. You understand? And then there were some other cultures who women were the ones, like the Yoruba, women were the ones who are making themselves pretty for men. It was very diverse in Africa. Everybody had their own culture. So when I wear this particular ring, it reminds me of that. It reminds me of the intactness that I would really want for us to get back into.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hey, geez. Your shoes.
These shoes have no meaning. Oh.
They have no meaning.
These ones are just shoes.
They have no meaning, no?
Nah, these ones are just shoes that I like.
They look nice. I thought the feather, that thing had sorry, you know, when we see greatness, we have to appreciate it. The necklace, I noticed, matches the earring. The necklace matches the earring. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
There's something about the earring that is in the necklace, so it signifies the same thing.
Yes.
The evil eye.
Yeah, the evil eye.
Yeah.
I always have the evil eye. And one thing about the evil eye, if you use the evil eye, when it gets lost or when it gets broken or when you can't find it, let it go, because it means it has absorbed enough energy. Or the person who is going to find it needs the protection more than you do. So whenever you lose your evil eye, just know on this planet, nothing gets lost. Things just get recycled.
You are so woke. But there must have been a point that led you to this place right now. What was your breaking point?
So Mimi, hata nikikwambia, like the fact that I'm called Taabu, my name is Vivian Taabu. So I've always known, okay, not always really known. Yes. I was born, when my mother gave birth, I've always listened to the stories my mom tell me about us. So my mom kept saying that her life was just going on well when she had all the other kids, you understand? And then when she gave birth to me, it was hell on earth for her. Like the moment she gave birth, hadi she had to name me Tabu. Unajua kitambo mzazi ya name, and she says it, like, I named you Tabu because I did not know what was going on.
Tabu is trouble.
Yeah, like she went through a lot of problems when she gave birth to me. I told you she gave birth to me at 1 a.m. And by 6 she was sewing. My dad was a drunk by then. My mom is the one who used to sew. Babangu aende auze ndiye alete pesa. You understand? So things were just so difficult for her when she gave birth to me. My childhood, venye nimeishi, I've been through. Like for example, when I was born, when I was very young, my mom left me because my dad married another woman, and so she left. Out of all the kids, I was the one who was left to live with this woman and my father. And my mom went with the other kids. You understand? So throughout that time, I went through a lot of Mama Wakambo stuff. You know, just going. You know, if you have ever lived with Mama Wakambo, you know what culminates, like just not eating enough, not being given your clothes to wear. Sometimes hadi kwenda choo nilikuwa naaibika because huyo mama alikuwa ananipatia nguo. Unaona hizi shati za promo, I was a very little girl. So shati ya promo ingenifika hadi huku chini, ingenitosha kama dress. So I had clothes, but shati za babangu za promo ndiye alikuwa ananipatia nivae ati nisichafue manguo cause sijui kufua. So all these things that I've gone through, I turned to God at a very young age. I said, there's no way mimi naweza enda through these things. Najua kuna mtu. Na hata kama si wazazi wangu na wanaweza ni support sahi ama wanisimamie nisiteseke na huyu mama. Najua kuna mtu. And I always just said, najua kuna mtu. So I was very churchy. My mom is also very churchy. So I went to church when I was a very young girl. I was excellent in Sunday school. I read the Bible when I was a little kid. But then our family also had a lot of domestic violence, in it. So school was an escape. You understand? School to me was an escape. I loved school. I hated closing days. I hated closing days. I just loved being in school. I just wanted to be in school because I knew naweza soma kitu hapa na nijitoe kwa whatever is going on at home. Naweza soma kitu hapa na nijitoe. So as I continued to do that, I realized that at a very young age, there was a time nilikuwa nimeshinda ki-English. Nikapewa tag. Walikuwa napatiananga watu tag hapa at best in English. Yes. So nikapewa tag and my school kulikuwa na viboko. It was a village school. So hiyo tag ikapotea. Siku moja nikapotezanga hiyo tag na walisema ati ukipoteza walimu, you will be in for it. So when I lost that tag, that was the most stressful time in my life. So I said, hey, I can't deal with this. So I just turned to God na nikasema, I need to find that tag. I'm just going to close my eyes and I'm going to walk. You need to lead me to that tag. Because that deep down I felt like I have to find it and I wanted to find it and I channeled all my energy into finding that tag and I started walking. And when I opened my eyes, I saw the tag. Like ilikuwa kando ya barabara hivi kwa nyasi. You understand? Na ilikuwa tag ya white, I remember, na kipino chini. But ilikuwa kwa nyasi. So by the time I was opening my eyes, I saw it. And I was just like, okay, I was so happy that I found the tag and I'm not longer in trouble that I did not think about what just happened. Yeah. You understand? So I just kept going, but I had a battle with trusting my intuition because I couldn't believe that. I say that, probably ilikuwa tu hapo. This is just a coincidence. These things that you dismiss as coincidences. So I dismissed that particular thing as a coincidence. I went back to school, gave back my tag, and everything was just okay. So I've always had a struggle with my intuition. Nimekuanga tu na struggle like to trust my intuition because I disobeyed it I trusted my intuition so much that I wanted to know what happens when I don't. Oh. I've always trusted my intuition so much. I've excluded myself from friendships. Even in campus, I would tell my friend, Ona, achana na huyu. And she would think
you are just
jealous. And then later on, and then something she would come happens. And tell me Kwani, how did you know? Imagine this and this. And even me, I did not know. I was just trusting my intuition. So my intuition has always helped me. It reached a point I wanted to know what happens when it doesn't. Maybe I'm just delusional. Maybe I'm just being crazy. So I decided to test me not listening to my intuition one day. Apo Serena. When I tested, unajua nini Serena, nyuma ya Serena kuna park.
Yeah.
And I was in Stella Winja, University of Nairobi. Yeah. So there was a time nilizindikisha beshte yangu to GPO. Now I was supposed to come back. Every time ningezindikisha huyo beshte yangu GPO, I would always come back to UON through mbele ya Serena. I wouldn't pass inside. You understand? Because something just told me don't. So every time I would listen. So that one day time nikasema acha nipite nione. Kwani what will happen? Let me see if my intuition talks the truth or not.
Yes.
So I passed through. Hey, when I was walking from the gate, kulikuwa na watu wenye walikuwa napita na ile side ya mbele. So by the time I was getting into the middle, wale watu walikuwa shaenda na wale watu wenye nilikutana nao walikuwa shapita. So it was just me in the middle. And out of nowhere, a guy just comes, a chokora. Hey, unaenda wapi? So unajua akiniongelesha na huko mimi bado najaribu kuturn nyuma so that I go back, because hapo ndo nilijiambia ati okay, I've confirmed it's happening. And when I saw that guy, I just knew that okay, it's happening. I did not trust my intuition, and now it's happening. And it happened. I got sexually assaulted in that park behind Nini Serena. And when I got out of that place, that was the beginning of my now being serious. That was the beginning of me being serious in my awakening, because I was sexually assaulted because I walked into it. I'm the one who told myself that, okay, I will not listen to my intuition. Now let me go through this. And to me, that experience, it was, the sexual assault part has always been a very terrible experience to me. But when I look at what happened when I was going through it, it was me trying to actually figure out where I stand with myself. And after then, I've never disobeyed my intuition. Wow. I will never disobey my intuition. And I always listen to it with the greatest, I listen to my intuition so much. So that is how I started now being serious. But ever since I was a little kid.
You always were.
I always was. That was how I was living. It's just that I was hated so much. Maybe I had so much hate even from my own sibling because of the way I was, because of how much mouthy I was. Even my parents sometimes would become embarrassed of me because of just how different I was. I would say things and I didn't know how to keep
things inside.
To myself. And I would always, warn people against things that they didn't want me to warn them. That would get me into a lot of trouble with people, even with my own family, because people don't like when you interfere with their energies in a way that is not aligned with them. Mm-hmm. And I think that is something that I've always just felt the need to say, to talk my mind, to tell people that, okay, this and this and this is what is going on. And for the longest time, it's only now that people are listening. But for the longest time...
You've been talking.
Yeah, I've been talking, and it's been rubbing people the wrong way. Mimi, hadi hizi vitu zenye naongelelea TikTok saizi, I used to talk about them on Facebook for the longest time. Na napata likes zangu 3. After nimeandika hapo novel refu. Na nasonga tu mbele. So when TikTok came, and by the way, when TikTok came, the first time I saw the app, ilikuwa inaitwa Smiley before, I did not pay attention. It did not attract me anything. I did not even want. But when they changed the name to TikTok, when I saw TikTok, the first thing that ran into my mind was time. It is time. And then when I went to the app, it was exactly what I was wishing to have. Because for the longest time, I tried creating content on YouTube, but YouTube is so long. Now it requires a lot of equipment. Mm-hmm. But with TikTok, it's just your phone. So when I saw TikTok, that was the beginning of it for me. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a deep story behind it. How do you feel right now about when you look at yourself? How do you feel about yourself?
I feel... When I look at myself, sometimes I feel, because even me, si ati nimejielewa hadi nikafika mwisho ya kujielewa. Saizi ndio hata naona ni kama nimeanza sasa kujielewa. Hiyo time yote, like mimi sikuwa naona ni kama nimejielewa. And it took me moving out of an environment. It took me breaking off from certain relationships. It took me creating time to be with myself. You understand? And so right now when I look at everything, the way it is happening, I just feel so happy because it's time, finally. Watu wenye tunajuana wako hapa na tutapatana.
Mtapatana.
Si ndio? Imagine, watu wenye tunajuana. Even if you said in the beginning of this thing that we've never talked.
No.
But we talked the first time and what?
Oh, it was crazy.
DNA, epigenetics.
Yes.
So ndo nakwambia, right now I'm just ready. I'm ready for life to unfold.
To unfold.
Yeah. And I'm ready for it to keep unfolding.
Yes.
And I'm ready to see where we will go. I want us to adventure the entire planet.
Yeah, what's your vision for Africa?
Vision for Africa is I want Africa to be the pioneers. Because they are, literally speaking, Africa is the cradle of mankind. All human beings started in Africa. It all began in Africa and it will all end in Africa. So what my dream for Africa is for Africans to just step into their power. All you need to do is step into your power. You have the power already.
That's it. Just step
into it and start knowing who your ancestors were before slavery and colonization. Mm-hmm. Know about the legends of Africa. Know that Mansa Musa was the richest man in Africa and the whole world, and richest zenye Mansa Musa accumulate. No man has ever been able to accumulate up to.
Even Bill Gates.
No, hajafika. No man has ever reached the level of riches that Mansa Musa had. And Mansa Musa was an astrologer. Alikuwa na follow astrology ni kama religion. So ndo nakwambia, as above so below, when you go with that path, your success is guaranteed. And everybody can be successful. There's enough space for everyone.
Yeah.
There's enough space for everyone. People just need to believe that there is.
There is.
The planet is so huge. The universe is so big. Kuna places hata hatujaenda. Hii maisha hata bado hatujajua ni bado we are still sorting relationships.
We haven't started sorting life issues.
Yes, we are still sorting relationship issues. Ati huyu alifanya nini, black people walifanya nini, white people walifanya nini. Bado tuko very at the bottom of the barrel.
At the bottom.
We've still not started moving now towards knowing that, there could be other civilizations out there. There could be other spaces out there.
Yeah.
What is Mars about? What is Jupiter about? What are there? And these are the things that we
How
need
do
to
we
discover.
get there?
We will get there.
We'll get there.
We will get there.
Yes. Yeah. I see you are very, you are intelligent. If I wanted to just start from somewhere, what 2 books should I read?
Bas. So, Ona, there are so many books.
Yes.
But umeuliza tu, but let me give maybe a little bit more than that.
Go on.
So, if you want to study, if you want to understand, first of all, the African history, just to get to know, what is education doing here? What is the system, the society, the way colonization, where did it stem from? Africans, who were they before colonization, after colonization? There's a book called The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. Then we have a book called The Stolen Legacy. And I think it's by Marcus Garvey. Yeah. The Stolen Legacy. And then we have Invention of Women. If you want to know about ancient Africa before patriarchy. Oyeronke Oyewumi, Invention of Women. Then we have a book called The Lost Star. I think it's by, The Lost Star is by I think it's by Martin or something. Yeah. But it's The Lost Star. It's talking about astrology of Sirius. It's talking about Sirius. Unajua saizi, geographers will only teach you about the sun. Ati sun moja tu ndio iko hapo juu ina rotate peke yake. But kuna Sirius. The sun, when you hear about the golden age is when Sirius and the sun are in alignment with each other. Yeah, kuna sun ingine, kuna another star that is revolving around the Earth revolves on its own axis. Yes. Earth revolves around the sun. The sun revolves around Sirius.
Jesus. Do we wind up?
We wind up. Let's wind this thing up, man.
Do you have a parting shot?
My parting shot is as above, so below.
As within,
so without. Nothing exists outside of you.
That is not
already inside. So trust that shit. Mungu alikupatia marking scheme yako. Hakuna mtu akona access to that your marking scheme.
Yeah.
So tushtue, introduce yourself to the world and tell the world that unajua mimi ni Vivian Tabu Okumu na nimekuja hapa kuwaonyesha Vivian Tabu Okumu venye ataishi. Na hakuna mtu mwingine amewahi ishi venye naenda kuishi. Ujue.
Period.
Exactly.
You are so where can these people find you?
You find me if I haven't found you yet. Relax. Imagine me nitakupata.
Yeah.
Your mother will post me on her status and you will see me.
Wow.
Your child will post me on their status and you will see me. You will see me.
No need.
There's no need for you to go around looking for me. I will find you. And when it is time, I will align with you. Nitakupata hata kama hutaki nikupate. Utapata tu ati mwalimu wako ameniweka kwa status.
Okay, my audience are gonna want the outfits though.
Okay.
Najua watakupata, but at least give us a plug for the cause I'm actually showing up here dressed by you. So
when ukitaka nikushone,
yes.
Personally nashona by the way, and I like creating like really unique stuff. Like I don't like creating stuff that are like copied from other people or whatever. So if you're somebody who you have a birthday, you just have an event yenye unataka kujionyesha,
come through.
Nitafute.
Si utupata na.
Nitafute. That's a number.
The hardest contact I've ever tried. And that's when you know she means what she says. Okay, mtamtafuta kwenye
imagine nitafute tu utanipata, because the reason why I don't want to give contact.
Social handle?
Or social handle is swiry nyar kano.
Period.
Swiry with S-W-R... No, S-W-I-R-Y. Just look for me. Swiry nyar kano. If you want something unique, you'll find me. Just find me. Nikushone. Kama unataka nguo yenye ita stop show. Nitafute. Nitakushonea.
This is a lifestyle, my people. I think we had such an incredible show. We've learned a lot.
I'm also so glad that I was here.
I'm so glad I met you finally, face to face.
Mimi pia nimetakanga kukumit by the way. It is mutual.
It is mutual.
The type of respect you have for me is exactly the type of respect I have for you. You need to know that. It is very mutual. Like, I've been thinking about getting a show at Lynn Ngugi's, but I knew it was going to come when the time is right.
Yeah.
And it did.
It just did.
Yeah, so Mimi,
man, I'll always go back to our first phone call. It was awesome. Go, bloom. You're already blooming. You're already living your life. You don't even need me to tell you, go. You're already... We are
here.
Lynn, go. But then
but you go... You also give yourself credit.
No, I am. That one I do.
You're also doing a lot of... I've shed tears because of this show.
Yeah.
Because the stories that you tell, one thing that you don't know about, Nini, you're giving... When we talk about mainstream media, we are talking about the main bloodstream. Mainstream. And mainstream can be manipulated. Unajua blood yako inaweza manipulatiwa ikue infected hapo mpaka haikusaidie anymore. But then we have this mainstream media that are very authentic. And that is what we want. People who are telling real stories, people who are not there to paint an illusion. Watu wakuje waone. Unajua kuna watu wengine wanadanganya tu mbele ya watu there. Nini, you know?
Illusion.
Yeah, illusions. But then when you are somebody who is in the mainstream, when you are a celebrity, know that you are in the mainstream. Uko kwa the main, unajua ukiangalia the body, I don't know whether this meeting will end, but unajua ukiangalia the body, kuna aorta, the main, unajua kuna heart, na kuna pulmonary artery, kuna pulmonary vein, kuna aorta, kuna vena cava. Uko wapi? If you are a celebrity, know that you are in the mainstream that is helping people. You understand? The parts of the blood vessels that you are in, it's mainstream.
Yeah.
So be very accountable and be very authentic. And I love it because you are authentic and you are accountable. And it helps, you tell stories the way they are, whether watu wakubali ama wakatae, even the story iko. And that is what mainstream should be about.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm in alignment. My people, I'm in alignment. Stay woke, go out there, man. Just study these things about us.
Yes.
I know that why we were acting. We shouldn't even be acting like, this is something that we should know already.
Yes.
This is something, if we are living here in the soil, we should know. You get it?
Yeah.
But I always appreciate that, man, this has been a learning experience. And I'm just happy I did not get to experience it alone. I got to experience it with thousands of you guys who, if you get to watch this, just kumbuka, this was meant for you. If you don't get to watch it, come 10 years later.
Yes.
That is when we'll be in alignment with the kind of conversation that was happening
Kila mtu
here.
kwa different time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Swiry nyar kano. Thank you. We appreciate you. You are gorgeous. Queen,
Thank you.
go out there. You know, don't forget, if we ever need conversations for us to just tear things apart, we are coming.
Yeah.
Because this continent, this planet of ours, you know, we just have to be the ones accountable for the kind of changes that we want to see. You get it, yeah? So the books, they'll be on the screen, guys. The titles, I want you to go. I'll also pin the titles of the books on the comment section so that we can start grabbing ourselves copies, because tusiachwe nyuma. I appreciate you all that have taken time just to sit with us through this conversation. Thank you to all our amazing supporters. The kind of community that we are building together, I do not take that for granted. And of course, to our incredible team, this would not have happened were we not here with our legendary camera person and director, Edwin Ochieng, our amazing assistant, Abigail, and of course, our incredible editor and graphics designer, Kelvin. We do not take your support for granted. Thank you so much. And if you want to share your story with me, I'll find you. No, if you want to share your story with this is my email. My email is right there. Send a summary of your story, and who knows, we could be speaking with you on our next episode of the Lynn Ngugi Show. Take good care of yourself. Even me, acha niwaambie jina yangu naitangwa Nyambura. I will start walking in alignment.
Bantu.
So we naona next time hapa mtaniita Nyambura wa Ngugi. But moving on. Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself and stay woke. The time is now. Bye-bye.